and sit down.
Hello folks, Colin here, Festa 67's workshop, and welcome to issue number 10 of Build Your Own Ford Mustang Shelby GT500 1967 from the wonderful folks over at DeAgostini. Now, if you'd like to build one of these yourself, click this link all the way along there. Link. Head over to the DeAgostini website and start your subscription. This is a 1/6 scale car, folks, so it is a big one. So in this week's magazine, what have we got for you? Mustang's 1969 Boss 302, folks. Ford launched the Boss 302. This special version of the Mustang was inspired by the models that had won the 66 and 67 Trans-American Sedan Championships. Over half a century later, this car is still one of the most admired Mustang variants. I think it's the black bonnet against the yellow that does it. It really got a look about it, and the stripe there just comes up there, the front fender there, and works its way across the door. I like that. It's got a nice look in it. Larry Shinoda there designed the Mustang Boss 302 and the 429, which were produced to capitalise on the Mustang's success in the first two Trans-American Sedan Championships back in 66 and 67, year I was born. In 69, Ford launched the Boss 429, a more powerful version of the Boss 302. This car was produced to gain homologation type approval for Ford's Boss 429 engine so that it could be used in NASCAR racing. And there you go, folks. Quite an angry looking one, isn't it? There, look at the scoop on that bonnet. You'd see that coming, wouldn't you? Here is what we're going to be assembling today, which is just off to one side there. You've got the inside of wheel rim. You've got the outside of the wheel rim. You've got the wheel mounting bolts. You've got the wheel trim, a tyre valve, and some DS19 screws, folks. So that's what we're going to be doing now. Remember to put your valve in as well, folks. At this stage, you'll see it in a minute and I'll show it. It's got a little teensy wincy tyre valve. When you open your bag, just make sure you've got the valve out. There's the wheel mounting bolts that go in. They feed through the holes and they just pop out the chrome nut head, the locking wheel nut heads. They're poking out the wheel. And then you'll be putting this into the front face of the tyre and screwing in the back part from behind. Okay, so it tells you all what you need to do there. So we'll go through assembling that. And then it tells you what you're going to have at the end of this issue, which is the wheel and a little insert there, folks. Now, us in the UK will remember this car. This was the full Capri. It was the first generation Mark I Capri, this. And they called it, when it was launched, the European Mustang, because it just had a bit of an attempt to look like it. But over the variants of this, it moved further and further away. And I think the Mark I and Mark II were the nicer of the Capri variants, to be honest with you. But they did sell quite a lot of them. And I do believe, if I remember rightly, I had the 3 litre Capri and then I had the 2.8 injection, one of the last ones of them. And yeah, used to have a bag of gravel in the boot to stop the back end stepping out in the UK in the icy weather. So yeah. Second generation of the Capri was a larger car with 4 proper seats and a more practical trunk. It sold reasonably well in a far more competitive market. This was the problem. Our market got flooded because it was the beginnings of the hatchback and all of that lot. Capri was a beautiful, or is a beautiful, Italian island located in the Gulf of Naples in the Tyrrhenian Sea. It's all about the island there from Roman times and that, and it looks like the second generation of Mustang. And in essence, it is the twin of the Mustang sold under the Mercury brand using the Capri name. Yeah, what a strange looking vehicle. There you go. Third generation crept the previous version's hatchback expanding the model's possibilities as a travelling car. And yeah, and then obviously you started then getting the touring car scene and all of that lot. And I think it was the Zaxby Capri that had the big scoops on the front and all of that lot. But yeah, we tried. Yeah, there you go, turbo speed Zaxby, and it was in the German championships. So yeah, we tried, and that, I remember that because that's what I had with the pepper pot wheels, folks. Yeah, and that was the third and last generation, discontinued in 1986. There was a concept art a few years ago floating around of a variant of the Capri, but they had designed it as a little SUV, and it just didn't look right to me. But I suppose you've got to move with the times. But there you go. They sold 1.2 million of them. So yeah, and there are a few of these still doing the rounds, folks. I can imagine they're worth a few quid now. So that's this week's magazine for you. Let's just flick back and have a look at our parts we've got. Now you're going to need the wheel we did in the previous episode, which is just there. And then we've got the outer part, the inner part, the crucial bit that most people will forget. There you go, it's the tyre valve. And then your screws and your wheel nuts, okay? So we'll dish all of them out and open them up. And we can start assembling this wheel for you today. There you go. So pop that off shot. There's your little hub cap for the middle. It's got a little magnet on there, folks, so you won't lose it. And that's your wheel nut. So that's what we got. Now first up, it is telling us to put this valve in, and it sits just in that hole just there. So we'll grab that and we'll pop that in whilst I'm thinking of it, because yeah, there you go. And it's a resistance fit. Once it goes in, it's the obligatory square peg in a round hole, that, and that will give you your little valve. Look at that. Oh. And then we want to feed through the wheel nuts, and they feed through from there. Now if you notice, there's a little keyway in it. Looks like a built-in Woodruff key is the best way of describing it, and that looks like a keyhole on the door. So line that up, 6 o'clock, and then just try to keep it feeding through as reasonably level as you can so it doesn't bind. And that will then feed these wheel lugs from the back to the front and give you that look like that, okay? So we're happy with that. We then want to spin this up underneath there so that we can start figuring out how to feed this through. And you've got little keys there cut into these that you want to line these up, 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock, see them? On there. And we want them to land in these little rebates, folks. And that's what I'm after, just like that. So that then when we put the back piece in, that's got them as well. It will let this pinch together, and it stops the liner in the middle spinning around, because yeah, you don't want that. So again, try to get it in place and make sure you get the holes lined up. So for me, that way round, 12 o'clock gives me the 2 screw holes at the very top there. Okay. So for my one, that's what works for me. And then we want to start tensioning these screws up. So I shall do what I normally do, my diagonals, folks. You want your big screwdriver. Let's grab one of them. We'll put a bit of oil on it. And you don't want to tighten these right down at this stage. A little bit of oil. You just want it to bite a couple of threads, because you want to pull this down in increments, folks. Big word of the day there, increments. Like that. There you go. And try and pull them diagonals in. There you go, that's in there. And then the next one, I'm going to come down this way to this one, okay? Same process, bit of oil. And you want to pull this down in little baby steps, folks, because you're trying to compress the tyre between the rim and the internal structure. You're trying to pinch all of this together, a bit like a trifle. And you're trying to get all your layers in line. So, again, just put it in a couple of turns and let it start pulling it in, and you'll see the gap starts reducing. So then we'll come back here. So we're forming a letter Y with the screws. And spin the wheel round so that you're in a comfortable place. Same process, bit of oil. And once you start getting this down, you can then go around and tighten them all up then. And it becomes easier the more screws that go in. So we'll spin that round and we can do this one now at 12 o'clock. Gosh, let's bring that over there. A little bit of oil. And we can drop that straight in there like that. All the way in. And then 12 o'clock on that one. There you go. Just like so. Right. So now we can go around and start bringing these down so I can reduce the gap. So we'll start with this one. And then work our way again. 2, 3, 4. Same with this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then come back over to this one. 2, 3, 4. And then that will leave that one. Same again. And then we can now come all the way back over here and start now bringing this one fully tight all the way down, because it's now beginning to nip together nicely. So he's fully home now. I'll spin that round to there. Just like so. Then come over and do this one. This was the original Y shape that we was doing. So that's now fully done. And that now leaves just 2 more up in there. That one. And that one over there. There you go. And that should now be your tyre all in place. I'll just quickly double check. All the others are now fully home. A couple of more turns on that one there. Bosh. And we can now just work our way around, doing that final turn on every screw. Just like so. And that will give us a completed wheel. Another one bites the dust. There you go. And that's what we've got, folks. That is now gone together really nicely. We've pinched everything in place, and then that just leaves our little magnetic Cobra logo. Okay, and I'll keep them in a bag in the box there so that I don't lose them. But that's what you're going to end up with, folks, at the end of this issue. You've got your wheel there all tightened up with your centre cap in place. Okay, and the crucial part, the tyre valve, is in situ. So, folks, we're going to wrap up this issue. Don't forget, if you would like to grab one of these for yourself, click this link all the way along there. Head over to the DeAgostini website and get yourself a subscription to this beautiful, beautiful 1/6 scale Shelby GT500. You won't be disappointed, folks. So until the next video, stay safe and stay well. I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Bye-bye for now.